Now at noon, snow all around Oregon and southwest Washington from the coast to the gorge and in between. And now we're tracking another round that's expected to start later tonight. Also, between weather and COVID concerns, flights are getting delayed and canceled around the country. We'll have the latest from right here at PDX. Plus,
I wasn't expecting to be colder than Chicago, so I underpacked. It got snowed out.
Yeah, we woke up this morning and we were like, oh, it snowed just a little bit. And apparently, like, a lot of Portland shut down because of it.
yes, it did. That blast of winter weather over the weekend creating some challenges for local businesses and also some surprises for out-of-towners.
This is KGW News at noon.
And snow is also making for some tricky driving conditions this afternoon. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney. Let's talk about that right now. We have one eastbound lane of I-84 closed by Multnomah Falls. This is because of a jackknifed semi-truck. Now, thankfully, no one was hurt in this accident. All the eastbound lanes in this spot were closed earlier, but traffic is getting through now, albeit slowly, with that one lane still closed off. And that's not the only problem spot. There's also a crash we want to tell you about in Washington County. Devin Haskins is out there live for us right now. So Devin, for starters, where are you exactly?
Well, right now, Drew, I'm at Southwest 209th at Farmington, here in the Aloha, Beaverton area of Washington County. Now, for some time this morning, this intersection behind me, 209th, was closed down. We'll get to that in a second of why the crash about that. But first, the roads here on Farmington are a lot of the roads, what the roads look like here in Washington County on our way out. Snow covered, compact snow, ice in some areas, making it very slick. Case in point, this truck we saw hauling up a trailer had to be towed by another truck up the slight incline just to get out of the intersection. The intersection here at 209th, as I said, was closed down because of a crash involving multiple vehicles. Washington County Sheriff's Office says there weren't any injuries, but said the icy roads are what caused it. And we spoke with one of the drivers who says he knew the minute he hit the ice, it was game over.
There were two cars over here that were sliding, and initially I'd slow down, and as soon as I hit the brakes, that's when I knew I was going to start sliding too. There was no more traction on the car, it just started sliding everywhere.
Been there, when you hit that ice and you just start sliding. Washington County has enacted their snow zones. Certain roads on Barnes, Cornell, and 175th in Southwest. That means traction tires or chains are required to drive on them because of their conditions. Road's so icy there on 175th. One of our photographers had parked on the side of the road, got out to get some video, grabbed his camera, started walking up the road, turned around, realized the car he had parked had slid down about 30 yards down the road. Just kind of goes to show you how slippery it is here. I mean, some of the cars here even testing out their traction on their tires, completely doing like a 180 here. So it's still pretty treacherous out there this morning, or this afternoon now, I guess. Drew?
Yeah, Devin, we've had some viewers asking about the driving conditions. Yeah. The best advice today, stay home if you can. With that in mind, Devin, we're going to leave you there in Washington County, and we're going to take this live look at downtown Portland from our Wells Fargo Skycam. Pretty much everywhere in the area got at least some snow yesterday and last night, whether it was a dusting in some spots to a couple of inches in others. And even the coast got in on the action. So this is video from early this morning in Newport out by Yaquina Bay. You see the snow falling there, Rod. That's what we were looking at a few hours ago during the sunrise show. And we're talking about all those great pictures from over the weekend, but I know your focus right now is the snow that's about to hit us again later tonight.
Yeah, and I want to give you a quick weather check on the area real quick. By the way, one of the prettiest cameras this morning, I think, is this shot. This was as the sun was coming up in Woodland. That's Lewis River Golf Course, but just pretty as a postcard, as they say. Okay, let's get you going outside right now. Drew just showed you Newport earlier this morning. Currently dry right there. The temperature just above freezing at 34 degrees. Still some snow on the ground you saw. Here's a look at the Coast Range. All of the Coast Range highways, this is Highway 26 at 1,400 feet. This is lower at 500 feet on US 30. The Coast Range, all the highways basically look like the Cascades. Very cold, completely snow covered. You will need traction tires or chains to get through. Let's go out to the gorge. Here's the view from the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. They haven't had a lot of snow in the last couple of days, just a little bit on the ground there. It's cold though, 26 degrees. From this, and we showed you some gorge pictures earlier. This is the live ODOT camera out at the parking lot at Multnomah Falls. Snow covered there. Generally, I-84 looks more clear than not, but there are icy spots, as we learned a moment ago. Here's Highway 26 up over Government Camp. And notice the frigid temperatures, 17, especially if you're going to be traveling up into the mountains in the coming days. Have warm clothing or something that would get you by if you are stalled and you're going to be sitting there where you need to keep warm. This is very cold air. Downtown Portland, 28 degrees. We will do well just to get up to 32. So that means if you have snow and icy roads in your neighborhood right now, I don't really expect any improvement through this afternoon. There's 32 at 4 p.m. There's 30 degrees at 8 o'clock. Light snow back in the forecast by 8 o'clock. Drew, the snow coming in tonight, I've really downgraded that. We'll talk more about that coming up, but it might be borderline just flurries to a very light dusting. Again, more on that coming up.
My kids are going to pretend they didn't hear that last part, Rod. We'll have more from you coming up here shortly. Let's talk about the scene out of PDX. If you're flying out of PDX today, make sure you check your flight status because several flights have already been canceled. Some because of weather, others because of COVID issues. Earlier this morning, we were out there at the airport and we saw hundreds of people in line at the Alaska counter waiting to check in. Alaska Airlines says snow in the Pacific Northwest resulted in 248 canceled flights on Sunday that were either arriving to or taking off from Seattle. And they expect more cancellations today. We talked with one group that was trying to get to Las Vegas for a birthday celebration, but their flight was canceled this morning.
We stayed at a hotel here by the airport so we could get on this flight this morning, and we get here and it's canceled. So we're waiting in this lovely long line to see if we can go to Vegas.
We also talked with other people who had their flights canceled. They said the soonest they could get a new flight was not until tomorrow or the next day. Delta and United said COVID issues with their crews and staffing shortages were also causing cancellations and delays. We mentioned earlier that the coast was part of this weekend's winter weather story. Parts of Highway 6 and Highway 26 were both shut down on Sunday because of slick conditions. We heard from the Seaside Police Department. Seaside Police said there were multiple cars that spun off the road there. We also spoke to ODOT. ODOT crews had a busy Christmas weekend and they'll be busy again this week leading up to New Year's.
We're going to be seeing refreezing for days to come. And so we're really urging drivers to take care. The roads are going to be icy.
ODOT says they're using all available tools at this point, including plows and, in some really bad spots, salt. ODOT has also been using de-icer, although de-icer doesn't always help when temperatures drop as low as we're going to see this week. Even just the threat of snow beginning last Friday on Christmas Eve led some people to change their weekend plans. Yesterday, KGW's Galen Etlin got out and about around downtown Portland to see how the weather was impacting local businesses.
Bridget Carrick loves her job.
I am so grateful to be here at the Goose.
She says camaraderie at the Goose Hollow Inn has made a big difference the last couple years of pandemic challenges. But in freezing temperatures and snow, the outdoor space faces more logistics.
Because last year our tent collapsed.
This latest weather event was easier, but posed a different problem.
Honestly, I think the biggest challenge is for staff to get here.
Some people coming from further harder hit areas struggle. But Bridget's boss knows these employees keep business going.
She's picked people up in snowstorms to make sure they could get here.
About a mile away in Old Town, visitors absorbed frigid tranquility.
The Lansu Chinese Garden was one of the businesses that stayed open in downtown. Despite how cold it was, you can see the snow on the roof, but people really enjoyed having an outlet to go to.
This is a little chilly.
This family is visiting.
I wasn't expecting to be colder than Chicago, so I underpacked.
They had plans in Oregon wine country Sunday, but
it got snowed out.
Yeah, we woke up this morning and we were like, oh, it snowed just a little bit. And apparently like a lot of Portland shut down because of it.
Everything is making it very challenging for us.
Venus Sun with the Lansu Chinese Garden says staff check for snow and icy conditions before opening each morning. With the pandemic, homeless crisis, and growing crime in Old Town, crowds on a freezing Sunday are a welcome sight.
How does that feel to get that support after a pretty rough couple of years?
It's amazing. We definitely cannot be here if not for the support coming from the community. Our staff still hold on to this very high spirit, this perseverance.
And even with an added challenge, snow ahead of the new year is a good omen, according to the Chinese idiom, 瑞雪兆丰年.
You're going to have a year of prosperity. So that's what we're holding on to it right now is we could use a great, prosperous year.
a message Bridget Carrick is on board with as her team works through these latest challenges.
Doing our best to just make sure everybody is safe.
In Portland, I'm Galen Etlin for KGW News.